This afternoon, we're gonna switch to different sample. We're gonna do EDX acquisition on the silicon sabre at a little bit lower magnification. In this case, because we need at low magnification, we need a lot more signal, and then we can switch to switch guidance and switch time spot size to get the more pin current. So typically with the target pin current, it's around 300 picoen to at least 600 picoen. So let's first find the sample first. How do we find the sample? First, we need to open the cooling valve, and then we go to the open the unbranded beam, open the live view with low magnification, right? And then this couple way to find a sample. First, we can go to the stage, because if your sample is just close by, you can use the joystick to move around, to move to the position. But if you wanted to, if your sample is far away, but you save the position of your sample, you can just simply say select the position to save, and then say go. It's gonna move your position to the target sample position. Okay. Open the view again. Now we're at the second sample, and once reach the position, it's gonna have a little bit of drifting. It's better to wait a little bit until it becomes stable. Okay. So I think the first we find a sample, we need to go zoom in to the region of interest. We can once we find the region of interest, then we need the use increase the pin current. Because right now we got pin current 200 picoen. We need to double this current. So right now guidance is 2. We can also select the fine. If you select a fine, then we can, when we say click up arrow, it's going to increase guidance by 0.1, or you can click down arrow to decrease guidance by 0.1. So this is fine adjustment your guidance. So we can reduce the guidance to say how much current we can have. So right now, almost the pin currents double, almost 150 picoen, and then this is good. And then we can use a sculptor, bring contrast down, and silver thing. Also, we need to adjust the Z height, bring sample to the Z height, and tune the stigmate. If we can just pop it in under amorphous region, and then we can switch to the high contrast, and then we use a Z. Probably let's set this an image first. Okay. Then we can further bring sample to the focus, and then you see you use the condensed astigmatism. Is the 1 to 2, and then use mode function S and Y to bring that. Okay. Because we're doing stuff at low magnification, so we just do kind of a little bit adjustment of the lumpicon. That should be good enough. Then we go back to live view, find the region of interest. Let's do the map scan on this region. So we can select the develop time, take a single imaging. So we can do, well, now we'll do 512 scan size. You can also choose 10, 1K by 1K, 2K by 2K. Even you can do 4K by 4K EDS mapping, but that's going to take a very long time. So we're going to use the 512 by 512 for the demonstration. Also take the imaging. You can just go to SI to just quick set up the develop time, and whether you're going to do auto stop, you're going to do, because you want to uncheck that optimize for periodic imaging, because right now we take low mag EDX mapping, and then we can just quick start. It's going to start mapping on the whole area. So if you're going to do local region, you just use this select tool to, and also you want to select GIF area. So we're going to do whole mapping on the whole region, so we don't need to select this. We don't need to select the images, spectrum image area. Make sure this icon is select. This is GIF composition. If you deselect that, you're not going to do the GIF composition. If you select that, it's going to do GIF composition on the whole mapping. So once you're done with that, you can just say criminal start. It's going to start scan. You can go to the process window, and then you can say it's scanning, it's getting more signal. So we need if you save to your parameter, you can load SES element setting here. Let's see if we save one. I don't think so. Device 1. Okay, this is a device 1. So then it's all the elements are going to pop up automatically for you. Also, you can use the spectrum. You use spectrum, your select area to extract spectrum. Once you have extract the spectrum, you can take a look at element to see which element you have. So definitely copper is transition. We have titanium. Can do auto ID. We have, remember to select auto ID. So we're gonna identify peak automatically for you. We got silicon, oxygen. We got, what else? We got titanium. We have some other peak here. You can use the peak identify tool here to select the peak. We have tantalum. This peak is tantalum. TA. Is it tantalum? Maybe tungsten. Yeah, I guess this peak is tungsten. Yeah, this is tungsten. So we identify this as tungsten L peak. And then we can identify peak one by one. So what is this is maybe this is a 1010. So and then we go that. So definitely we have tungsten, titanium, silicon. We also have nitrogen, oxygen, have aluminum. Yeah, we have aluminum. Aluminum. It's a weak aluminum peak. So we have nitrogen. Nitrogen peak. This is nitrogen peak. So signal is keep accumulating. This is titanium. It's kind of a layer, thin layer on the gate. This is silicon. And this aluminum inside, tungsten inside. We got carbon. Maybe we have carbon. Carbon just everywhere. Silicon. And you can you can define the color for each element map just by select color here and double click. You can just click here and then you can select the different color for different elements. So aluminum, for example, I want to define like this color, this color, and you choose your favorite one. So you can do color mix between them. So this is a live quantification. So the map is still acquiring. So we can do live acquisition if our map size is below 5 char by 5 char. So, and also we can choose different filtering for that. For low magnification, we don't choose the linear filter. You should use the average filter or the Gaussian filter. So let's do average filter. We probably just do 3 pixel or 5 pixel. Yeah, 3 pixel looks better. Image not look very blurry. You can zoom in, then you see this individual pixel, and then you can increase the size of averaging, the strength of averaging filter. But when you see that indicates it might be too blue to say too much averaging. You can decrease it a bit, make it the contrast become a little bit sharp. So we got oxygen, silicon, Germany. And you can see reset zone. So let's do 10 minute, no, 7 minute. Let's just do a 7 minute mapping. And then we can change the current to see the quality, compare the quality. This is a 7 minutes, 15 second mapping. And then we can do a little bit quantification. We do pre-filtering. So too much. The 3 pixels is fine. Decide like that. So we can set out 1 pixel within the function and see how much count we get. And later on, we can increase the current, so you see, do a kind of a compression. Object property, you can just double click and type in the pixel. This is 1 pixel within function. And also this is your quantification results from the spectrum. So, and right now we have pre-filtering. So when we decide with pre-filtering, we have average 1 count per pixel for the function. If you deselect pre-filtering, we can say the strongest the count we can get the function is 3 counts. But if you do some averaging, 3 pixel, the average count, this is more representative. Average count for function. It's this region is about 1. So and then as I mentioned, to decide how much filtering you want to do, you can just first you can just deselect pre-filtering, any pre-filtering or post-filtering you have. And then you can just take a look at the spectrum. So, and then you can say auto RT. If you don't, it's hard to identify the peak on the 1 peak by 1 area. Then you can increase the area. So object, you can go 3 by 3 to see if it can be identified. So now you can choose 3 by 3. Now you can identify function. That means to identify function automatically peak automatically. At least you need the 3 by 3 pre-filtering too. So and then we can also increase to 5 by 5. To say, yeah, then we can identify other kind of peak. Okay, and then and also you can take a look at your quantification results. So for if you choose the 3 by 3 or 5 by 5, you can quantify the function signal. Because right now we're at the function, and you can move around to see if we can quantify other element. If you move here, you get silicon. If you move the layer, you get titanium. So at least we need to do 3 by 3 to quantify function at each pixel. So, and then we can go back to the pre-filtering. We go back to spectrum image quantification, and we choose pre-filtering. We know at least we need to do 3 by 3 to quantify function. So we choose pre-filtering 3, and then in this case, you move around, you see your function. Peak in the spectrum can be identified automatically. Also in the quantification table, you can see you can identify function 100% because right now we're right at the function layer. Okay. And then you can enlarge selection to the whole area to see the quantification results on the whole area. Then we can say we got how much option we have, how much silicon we have, also titanium. So post-reviewing not going to affect your quantification results, but they're going to enhance your visualization of the EDS mapping. Okay, so this mapping was taken with current about 450. Let's open the thing. About 500. So now we can further increase current. Get a current 500. Probably we can do a current at 250, and then we do 750. So let's do the 250 first. You can check the fine and fine tune the guidance. 250. Okay, this is close to 250. And then same region. And this way, maybe you might need to do a little bit of fine focusing. And imaging. Okay, and then you take image, facial by facial image, and then you can just start your mapping. So we use the same setting, drift composition. We're gonna stop at 7 minutes, and develop time 40 seconds, or 40 microseconds. Then we can take a look at it down. So it's gonna take. So we're gonna wait 7 minutes until it's finished. Here, so low mag EDS application, it's rather easy compared to atomic resolution EDS mapping. So you don't have to tilt the sample to exactly zone axis. But unless you want to see some interface layer, for example, here you have titanium layer on the tungsten linear. So in this case, you wanna check there if you wanna say if you at a different tilting, this layer thickness might be different. If you tilt it to zone axis, you can get a better EDF mapping of the titanium layer. Because if you add a zone axis, the thickness of the titanium is largest than the tilt than those of a different tilting. Okay. So you can always extract the line profile from the mapping. You can select element, different element, and also right now you look the signal a little bit noise. You can use the plus and minor in the cable to do little bit averaging across the width of the arrow. As you increase the width of the arrow, you average the signal across the width of the arrow to the 1 point, to the central point. So then your signal looks, your data look a little better. You can say clearly identify, think you identify titanium peak, titanium layer. You can zoom in, take a look at one gate. This is one gate, you see 2 peak. This means it has some segmentation on the surface of the gate. Screen. So I'm gonna see how much time. So now it just this around. This one tells you how much time we have. And now we're tracking. I almost reached the 4 minutes, so we have 3 minutes to go. Okay. Let's wait a little bit. Also, this is an irregular spectrum integration. So you can just define. So if you have like, let's see this. If you wanna select the within this region, for example, you can just select this gate. You can do here and click here to select all the EDX signal in this gate to do quantification. So this polygon tool could be useful if you want to take a look at local element within a certain feature. And another useful is you can compare any element different between these 2 gates. You can do this. You can just select another one. So you say you will have 2 spectrum, spectrum 1 and spectrum 2. So you can make spectrum 2 red, or maybe spectrum 2. Okay, so you see every 1 and every 2, they almost have the same component because they peak very identified. Only a little bit different on the octane strength. The strength of the octane is a little bit different. Other than that, they have same component. Also, you can to make sure the select area has same size. You can just select one area and then use the keyboard Control C to copy, and then Control V to copy this area 1. And you have area 3, and then move to. You can delete area 2 because this is not area 2 don't have same size with area 1, and then. So this will make comparison very meaningful. It's this area 1 and area 3, they have same shape, same size. And then change area 3's color to maybe green. Then you can say the 2 areas only have a little bit different oxidation situation. So you can compare with others. Here, there are more. Maybe this sample inside this gate, it has copper. the capacitance with this now. And we have more text now. So right now the energy sphere is about, the range is a 20 kV. We can always go back, so it's down, so we can just stop the position. So we can already select energy range dispersion by here. You can do so large range. You have poorer energy resolution, but you get a more range. So we always, the 20 keV is typical one to do. Let's take a look at the results. As we can tell, so we can just descend there. You can just make arrow to select region, and we can go 1 pixel by 1 pixel, and look, take a look how much counts we have. So spectrum error. Let's remove the rest of them. Okay. This is species peak. We cannot identify that because right now the count is very low. So if it's in 1 pixel, say average count we get with this current per pixel with centimeter time is about 1, and then we can say how much pre-filtering we need to have to be able to quantify that. Let's first do average 3 pixel. You say we cannot identify the peak automatically. So with 3 by 3, with 3 pixel pre-filtering, average pre-filtering, so you have no quantification results. Hopefully we increase to 5 by 5. Hopefully this time we're gonna able to get quantification results. Still not getting. Nothing. When you say QSI, it's going to apply the element you have in the table. So just say QSI, then it's been moved off, then there's nothing be identified. Nothing can be identified with this account within 1 pixel. So because we saved the setting, we can just load as an element setting device. Once we lost, we can always bring it back. So let's send that function. So within this 1 pixel, if they do auto, should have able to quantify function. Okay. No pre-filtering. Pre-filtering. Just looking at that. I think at least 3 pixel averaging give us good quantification. Yeah, I think we need 5 pixels. So just now we say if you choose the you see every 5 pixels, you see your tungsten peak. The strength of the tungsten peak is the highest point, the hardest count in the peak is reduced, but overall this peak looks more uniform and more there's some V's. This if you do without filtering, you see you just get a few line of them. So it's not look right. It's not look like a spectrum. So if you do pre-filtering, you give every signal. So you get the, although your hardest count reduced, but you're redistribute your count in more pixel. In this case, you can get more uniform distribution. Okay. Okay, and then we can now go to 750 current. Okay, we go decrease. We take the guidelines. What's the current end? The target is 750. Okay, reach the wall. Yeah, it's good. It's close. Okay, we might need to adjust the Z high, bring sample back to focus. Okay. So if you notice, because when you use very high current, your basically your resolution is you sacrifice your resolution, but you get more signal to your detector, EDS detector. Okay. And then we can set some setting. Let's set auto stop. Let's set up. Let's maybe how many frames? Okay. And then we can stop. Then we can take a little bit out. Okay. You say after few scanning, you will get the you see less contract, less mapping. But now we have much more signal goes into detector. Pin 6. And you can inspect the count to your detector. This is live layout. You see with 100, with almost 800 people and current. For each detector, the overall count we get is 27. Sometimes 27, sometimes 18,000 counts. So indicate we have more counts goes into the detector. So if your target is to quantify a certain element, then you can do like select the error with certain element for here with function, and then you can take a look at the quantify results. It's going to update the quantify results. So in this case, you will say the mass error account with arrows with more signal, the error percentage is going to decrease. So you can do select 1 pixel. You say fitting error is 15.3 per pixel. And that some percentage error is 100% error. So we can let this keep going until we see the value is good. So keep that in mind. Right now we don't use any pre-filter. So any quantification results is from raw data without any filtering. You can also do net. If you go to net, you can choose pre-filtering. But now we are still acquiring data, so we cannot do pre-filtering right now. It's 4 minutes. So you say your fitting error getting small and small. The atomic percentage error getting small. So you can just wait. You can just don't set all the stuff. You can just wait until you see a certified fitting error, and then you can stop the scan. This is how we acquire EDS mapping based on the quantification results. So, because you can just, if you sample it's not being sensitive, you can just do a very long EDS mapping. In that case, you're gonna have good quantification results with minimize the fitting error and atomic error, but that's gonna waste your machine time. So I would suggest for the first time, if you look the EDS mapping on a certain sample, you just select the error 1 pixel by 1 pixel, and then see the quantification results. When the fitting error reach below certain value, at least below 20, or then you can stop the scan, and you know how much time you know how much time you need to do EDS mapping for your sample. Also, even in that case, you can get a decent quantification result. Because we said auto stop, it stopped at 5 minutes, so we get a 30 frame. We stop at 5 minutes 49 seconds. Although we use less time, but it seems we get more count. Because just now for the function, the highest peak we get is about 1 or 1.5 or 2, but now we can get almost like 3. And we can do pre-filtering to make to average the signal in redistribute the signal in addition peak. So now your spectrum look like a spectrum. It's not just film line. Just keep it in the mind. Now we only select the pixel, select the area. So it's very small. a very small area with only 1 by 1 pixel. And also you can use for optimized spectrum fitting. That's gonna see if you select optimal spectrum fitting, it's gonna give you a little bit better fitting results. So this is 1 pixel by 1 pixel. You got it's understandable. You have a large fitting error. It's this 1 pixel. Let me increase this area to like you can say increase 3 by 3. Then here you have the fitting error reduced to 1/4. If you increase to 5, fitting error may reduce further to 1%. So this is accessible. So with that being said, we have if we have more pin currents, you're gonna have more counts for quantification. It's gonna take less time to acquire good mapping. So, but you're gonna introduce more pin damage to your sample. Also, you're gonna sacrifice some image resolution. For example, here I can try zooming in together. High magnification, EDS, a very high magnification. EDS quantification on one of this gate. Be like this. Of course, we need to adjust. So we change the pin currents. We need to adjust the. Okay, and we can do fine focusing. You say it's hard to focusing. It's you still try hard on focusing. The image still looks blurry. You might need to tune the. You might need to adjust the speaker margin. Maybe. This is the best. This is the clearest image we can get. Okay. So you can do EDS mapping. You can say, hey, virtual. You can just say, get another mapping. So in this case, we can do the same thing. For example, you can select area. Just for example, if you're interested in this layer, I think this is titanium layer. So this is a titanium layer. We wanted to quantify the titanium content. Then we have to. What we can do is go for 1 pixel by 1 pixel. Or you can go 3 by 3. That means you need to go for at least 3 by 3 pre-filtering for quantification. So we choose 3 by 3. Oh, I haven't said enter. Okay, usually enter. This is 3 by 3. I put this 3 by 3 on the tungsten and the titanium layer, and then I go to spectrum, I select the titanium, deselect the tungsten. I know this is titanium, and then I'm gonna update the quantification results. You see there's a lot of fitting error and also a lot of atomic errors. So it's gonna do. We are keeping collecting data. It's gonna this value gonna update likely until we see fitting error below 10%. Then we can feel. Then we can just Then we feel this is good enough for quantification. Then we can stop application. In this case, it's gonna save us some time. So now we know this changed to the 18% right now. We can just keep looking at the value until it's reaching certain, until we feel satisfied, then we can stop application. But now I set up the auto application, so it's gonna stop at the 30 frame when we get 30 frame. So what I'm trying to tell you is this is the way how we use the quantification. This is how we. This is kind of a quantification oriented EDS application. So we determine their application time based on the quantification arrow, based on peak fitting arrow, on the target elements. So if we want to quantify this target element, it's titanium layer. This is Lalo layer. So we have to look at the quantification lively, and then once we feel we have enough signal to do quantification, we can stop that. So you say this peak titanium spectrum, we're getting more signal. Just now, because now we get the quantification, some arrow, fitting arrow. And then you can try different reagent. This is not something. This is silicon.
Wait, how low did you say the error should be?
The area. So it depends on whether you want to use the pre-filter or not. So some people, they don't like use pre-filtering because they think if you're filtering gonna you do some redistribution of your count, you do some editing. So if you don't prefer to use the pre-filtering, you should keep your error 1 by 1 pixel. So right now, I think I can do some filtering. I prefer to do some pre-filtering. Then I keep my area 3 by 3, and then we see the fitting arrow until below certain value, and then I say stop, and then in this case I have to use the at least 3 by 3 pixel pre-filtering at the shoulder, right? And you can, so right now they are fitting arrow below 10%. I can just stop that to quantification. I can, but if you don't want to use pre-filtering, you can just go back to 1 by 1 pixel, and then you set, you have a lot of fitting arrow, get 48%. Then you need to do longer application time to get a good quantification result. So I would say, if you want to do some quantification on the raw data without any filtering, you need to do longer, use a large beam current to longer EDS mapping. But if you just want to save some time, you can do pre-filtering. You can set up the area size like here. You can, if you want to do 3 by 3 pre-filtering, you can just have a 3 by 3, and once you see a good fitting arrow value or atomic arrow here, you can just stop the stop application, and then later on you can add the pre-filtering. For example, here I go lab. I can go here, choose 3 pixel pre-filtering, and then I can go here. Let's go back to object. Go back to 1 by 1. So this is 1 pixel by 1 pixel. So it's hard to be quantified, but if we choose pre-filtering, 3 by pixel pre-filtering, we can say this fitting arrow can decrease after pre-filtering. still got some. That means probably because we need to do a little more prefiltering to make sure we get a good quantification result. Yeah, just keep in mind we are looking at the error with pretty small size. Just 1 pixel. If you take a look at the property, you can take a look at the pixel size. The pixel size here is 381 picometer. So that's meaning we are taking a look at we are talking about quantification on that small region, right? So usually we don't need to have that resolution. Usually we can just increase this area to maybe 10. If you have very small feature, right now this layer, you see this layer, this titanium layer is about maybe 5 nanometer, maybe straight to 5 nanometer. So that means we need to do a quantification on this small area, right? With area about 5 by 5 nanometer. So we don't need to actually do quantification on 1 pixel. But if you have very small item, very small feature like this, the very tiny particle there, and the size is about it's close to the 1 pixel size. Then probably if you want to quantify that, then you probably need to do longer scanning and make sure you get a less fitting error within this 1 by 1 pixel. So if you have this large feature like this whole silicon gate, so your error is pretty large, you can do quantification with that large area. Then your fitting error it's very small, so you don't need to do very long application to quantify that. So it's pretty depending on your feature size. So if you have a very small feature, nanoparticle, even the particle below 1 nanometer, you want to quantify that. It's usually very hard because if you do very long EDS mapping with large current on that particle can melt over the beam. So, but if not, then you can get enough count to say what kind of element. At least you can get enough count to tell what kind of element it is. But if you want to get quantification information, like say how many quantification information for that, like say how many particle that's with small size below 1 nanometer you have in your sample, then you probably sometimes you need more signal, and otherwise your quantification results is not trustful. So yeah, that's how we take a look at quantification results based on the mapping we're taking. So we change the gun length, right? We change the gun length to adjust current. Next, we can go back to gun length 3. And instead of changing gun length, we can change spot size to see how spot size affect the EDS mapping. Okay, because let's use it to focus. So a spot size 8. Right now we got a spot size 8. This for like high map imaging. We can do mapping. So let's do spot size 8, spot size 6, and then spot size 4. And see how the spot size can affect on the image quality and also the EDS mapping quality. So first, we need to do some little bit focusing and so it's back. And then we can okay. We just take a look at this single cover. We can change field of view here because right now you can type the field of view like 200 nanometer here, and say enter. It's gonna include. We need to include this too, right? So maybe 200. Yeah, this is good magnification. We can move a little bit. So this is good to use a stem because it gives you freedom to change the field of view, to select different field of view. And then once you've done that, we can check 5 kilobyte, take the 5 kilobyte structure imaging. And also we set up a stop time. Auto stop 6 million 30 frame. In this case, we can keep the let's stop that. Because I see some. Okay, a second. Okay, go 200. I don't want to including the other. Yeah, that's probably good. This one does have 2. It's 2 gates. Okay, maybe 195. Okay, that's good. So okay with that, just take imaging. Do that. And do the mapping again. So we can just view and view back. So this is a view. You can close your experiment view by click crossover, and you can also bring back by check experiment. We delete this. Can delete the data we don't want. Okay. These are different view. Single, 2 horizontal, 3 left. I used to choose the 2 horizontal. Then you can use, it's very interesting identify this component here. Select maybe heights. Maybe straight. 15 arrow, take a look at the arrow. 6 and 1. That. Okay, so it's gonna take some time to finish this map. Got another 10 frames to go. Okay. Let's say it's the 15 arrow, it's updating. And you can select, you can select different value. Let's is stop some working or not, since I have different background. So this multi volume normal, and also select this ample. Definitely, yes. You can see the background window. This is the background. This is the background. Here. And so the background window. Here's 15 arrow getting smaller. So right now the current is more. It's 100 gigabyte. So take a look at how map look like. So you can really pay focus attention to the aluminum, titanium, function, Germany. So also you're gonna say we'll get a nitrogen option. It's done because they said auto stop, right? Okay. I'll sit down. I don't want to sit back on. Let's say within 5 by 5 pixel. So 3 by 3. And you're fitting arrow up to 43 for the titanium. 43 nanox. So at least 28. That was ready. So, and then we can increase the current by decrease spot size. You can use L3 in your hand panel. Push the L3 to decrease spot size. And now spot size 7. It goes to spot size 6. And then we take a look at the beam current. We unblank the beam, check the beam currents. We got almost 350 beam current. But keep in mind, when you change spot size, your beam gonna move a little bit. You probably need to readjust your alignment. So typically we do we just use the stage, bring the sample back to the using to focus, and then we can do a little bit of fine focusing and use the focus lab. You can bring a small window for you come in to do focusing. Okay. Okay, it's getting clear, and then we can start view again to find the same region. So this is the same region. We go to test view, find the same region. In this case, the current is 4 times danger Paris, 4 times larger. So then take imaging and then get the star application. And also, let's bring that this it gives our ability to do live data processing again. We use Pixel. We use the spectrum selector tool to select the area. You can define the area size to 3 pixel by 3 pixel. And then we move to the titanium layer here. And we take a look at quantification, live quantification results until it's reached the below certain value. And now it's good. We can just stop application and use the data for the quantification. So just now, I think when we use the 100 pico and currents, the meaning fitting angle we get is about 10% per pico fitting within the 3 by 3 pixel area. So now we choose the same area, we choose the same 3 by 3 pixel area, and then after with same application time, but with more current, we see how much improvement we can get. So so right now we got a 35. Keep that in mind. Right now we choose the area 3 by 3 pixel area. So if you want to get the good quantification, that means if you use this fitting arrow as kind of reference, later on you want to do quantification on the 1 pixel by 1 pixel area size. You probably need to do pre-filtering at least do 3 by 3 average pixel pre-filtering. Then you're gonna get a good quantification on the area with 1 by 1 pixel size. So it's gonna update your quantification lively. You can take a look at this data. So because we're interested in titanium layer house, so we need to quantification on that. So we keep close eye on this value. Right now the fitting angle below 13, below 20, 12. Okay, we're keeping updating data. You can also take a look at spectrum. The highest count we get per 3 pixel is up to 4. If you do 1 by 1, let's say how much count we get for each pixel. It's around 1. We get average 1 count per pixel. Okay. still updating because we're still acquiring. So the frame, we keep accumulating fewer frame, and now we get 20 frame. This is a good way to tell you when you can stop your application, especially again, if you first take a look at a sample, you're not familiar with your sample, you probably want to use this method to judge how long you need to do EDS application on your sample so that you can have enough signal for the quantification. So, okay, let's go back to 3x3 pixel. By this type of value here, it's your keyboard. Then you can go there, set right click, auto scale. It's going to give you the whole view of your spectrum. And then you can say here, there, and now we can identify the titanium peak here. And the fitting arrow is close to the 13. It's going to update. So this method, it's especially very good for you to do some EDS mapping on the sand layer. If you have something, or also it's good for you identify the interface elemental computation. So, because especially if you quantify, you have Lalo layer, you have Lalo interface, you want to do quantification on that elemental computation. You have to, this method it gives you idea how much time you want to do the EDS scanning. Okay, it's done. It's auto stop. So this time we got the fitting arrow. We got 8.8. Just now we got about. I think I just now later. Just now we get about 12. So now we get improved. Okay. And then we can select. So we're pretty interesting titanium. Okay, oxygen, nitrogen, aluminum. This is silicon. So you can adjust if you see the sometimes you see the nitrogen contrast too strong, it's gonna affect your color mix of the mapping. Then you can select the nitrogen map and reduce the sigma of your image, and you can in that way. Okay, and then you can also do the quantification on the whole mapping. You select that, it's going to remove the background. So after background rejection, you say, it's very interesting to say your light stream, take a look at your light stream element. It's kind of layer. So because the light stream, it's light element. The light element in it, they're harder to quantify it. So let's take a look. Can reduce the size of area equal to the light layer thickness, and you put there. And then go back to spectrum. You go to choose nitrogen instead of titanium, and then use K-peak. You say this is good fitting. You get the fitting arrow less than 5%. You get an electron error less than 10%. So that means it may have a good quantification on the nitrogen. This is a good result, I think. And also, in this case, we're able to tell how thicker the nitrogen layer is. So, we do a line profile, go across the nitrogen layer, and we can increase use the plus or minus error, plus increase the width of arrow to integrate more signal. And then you can see the nitrogen, you can change the color. And you see, you can use this magic tool to match the thickness of your nitrogen. It's rough in the technical properties. It's about 5 nanometer. You can move where you want to do measurement. So right now it's about 5 nanometer. We can move to different area definitely. So right now it's 5 nanometer, still 5 nanometer. So the average thickness for titanium and nitrogen is about 5 nanometer. 5 nanometer. We can also take it with titanium. So it's same titanium and the nitrogen, they're at the same layer. Because when you see titanium peak, you also see the nitrogen layer. The thickness of them is pretty same. It's also about 5 nanometer. So that indicates we might have titanium nitride. So then we can do quantification. Take a look at the weight percent mapping, atomic percent mapping. So, say you can then give you a percentage here. If you just choose that, it's going to give you count, intentional count. The y-axis intensive count. You choose the weight percent, it gives you weight percent, you click on the scale. You can say we have across the line, the weight percent of the titanium, it's about which across the layer, we have about almost 65% titanium, and nitrogen is about 10.5, and it's about 17%. Let's make it give it a different color, make it more visible. So it's about 17 to 18%. So that's you can calculate the ratio between titanium and the nitrogen to see if they form some compound. Okay, this is the weight percentage. You can also take a look at the atom percentage. So the atom percentage is 50%. You can also for the titanium, it's about 50%. For the nitrogen, it's about 20 to 30%. So by taking a look at that, you can identify whether they form compound or not by judging from the ratio between titanium and nitrogen. You can also take a look at oxygen. Its oxygen is same between them. So this okay, this is the current we use. This is spot size 6. We can go further, lower. We use the bin setting to bring spot size down further. We go for both sides, fine. No medication. UV load is reduced long for resolution. And you get 800 lot of current. You can go 4 because we use 864, right? Let's do 864. You probably get a 1 nanoamp, 1.3 nanoamp current. That's pretty good. That's pretty large current. You're probably gonna destroy your sample if you do long scan. Let's find the same region. Definitely we need to do a little bit of focusing. You see height. You can push your center focus to bring sample back to the user focus. And then you see height to put sample to do a little bit of focusing. Okay. I think you cannot focusing well because your beam current is pretty large. Okay, so I got a good bit of focusing. Good, I got a decent image. Okay, so that's good enough for us to do mapping. We keep the same field of view 195. Nanometer field of view. We do everything on the same area. We just want to make sure we compare the difference to see any difference. We probably go for tune the astigmatism a little bit. Just, Okay. Okay, then we can just take an image, do the acquisition, something, take a little better. You will see this one now we get too much signal. So we can get the good quantification results in fast way. So still same, we select area, use the area select tool, and we select the define the size. Let's go one by one. I think just now we go for 3 by 3, right? Then we put that the titanium layer. This time we just so we can set 2. We know this layer have both titanium and nitrogen. I think this is true. So we say a lot of fitting arrow from nitrogen. If a lot of our slide element, it's harder to identify that. But with time passing, we're gonna have this fitting element reduce. Some reason we don't know. Okay, put it here. Okay. So it's accumulating. You see your fitting arrow value decrease. You can choose that. Remove background. So you say it's good to say you notice from the you notice the contrast is simply something in between their function gate function, and then you see function map. You see this is some gap between them. Since this gap have lots in there. Just gonna just yeah. This is just lock of function in the center. So you can move. Then you can, the switching arrow getting smaller and smaller. Action percentage arrow getting smaller and smaller. So right now we have almost 199 current. Okay. So we can also draw 9.5 cost here. Another interesting function using titanium, nitrogen, aluminum. So you can increase the race to include more signal. You say this is aluminum, and also you have aluminum on this. Titanium, aluminum, each kind of alloy, and maybe the drift between titanium and aluminum there. So the Velox really give us for possibility to do acquisition and quantification at the same time. So in this way, you can even have quantification oriented application. Based on the quantification results, you can determine your application parameter. Okay, I think we're down. Let's look. Yeah, we're down. Let's set it frame. So, and then we can take a look at this project. So we got 4.8. For the titanium, just this one. We got a 4.8 for titanium. Just now, we got an 8.8. So it's getting better, more signal. If you sample, it's not being sensitive, and you can use large current and give you more signal. And also, if you don't care about high resolution, you just use a lot current to get signal, get more signal to the spectrum at your detector. Okay, that's how we change the spot size. And let's turn back to 6. Do you have any questions so far?
No questions.
Okay, then let's take a break, quick break. Then we'll be back in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, see you later.